Today's video is a really special one and I'm excited to share with you because I just got this box in the mail, and inside this box is supposed to be at least the $10 million exclusive invite-only JP Morgan Reserve credit card. So in today's video, we're going to unbox this bad boy together, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the card, how I got my hands on it, some of the misconceptions that surround this card, and I'm also going to compare it to a couple others that I have, like the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the American Express Gold card. And we're going to find out together what this thing looks like and whether or not it's actually worth it. And I'll talk a little bit about how I was able to get it, because contrary to popular belief, you don't actually need $10 million. That doesn't mean that it's easy to get, but we're also going to talk about if you can get it, should you? So without any further ado, let's adjust this camera. Okay, so here's the box. It's got a good amount of weight to it. I'd say it's about pound and a half, maybe 2 pounds. I've seen other unboxing videos online. Also, I apologize. This is my first unboxing video, but why don't we dive right in? And oh, looks like there's a little pull tab here, so I don't need that. Nice. And looks like that just opens up. And oh yeah, do you see that? That is a pretty cool looking box. It's got like a texture to it. I don't know if that, yeah, that kind of picks up on camera. It's got like a nice texture. Feels like a plastic or something. Almost like a woven plastic. We'll just get rid of that. And this is cool. This looks exactly like I was expecting it. So funny story. I actually, when I applied for this card, I think I fat fingered the address and it didn't come in. So I was sent a replacement, and I was told that the replacement may or may not come in one of these welcome package boxes. So I'm really happy that it did come in this box, so I can share it with you. And we'll just open this. Looks like it opens on this side. And look at that. Welcome to the JP Morgan Reserve card. This looks really nice. It's got this pull tab here, and this almost feels like leather. I guess the real test is to smell it. Okay, so that definitely does not have a leather smell to it. That's some kind of pleather or like vegan leather or something like that. Why don't we get this card out of here and see what it's like? Now, one thing I'm really interested in for this card, looks like there's a second slot here if you have an authorized user. I would have put my wife, but she has way too many credit cards, so we felt like we didn't need to have a second card for her. I'm just gonna take this bad boy out. What's cool about this card is it used to be called the Palladium card, and it was made out of palladium. I guess palladium is pretty valuable, and the original card was worth up to $1,000. But these days, my understanding is that this is not made out of palladium, but it is still a good feel. It's a good heft. The JP Morgan here looks really fancy. It's etched in there. And just take a quick second there to block out some sensitive information related to the card. But here's the back of it for you. I kind of like the way that Visa logo, the Visa Infinite logo, also shines as well. First impressions, honestly, it is not as substantial as I think it was kind of hyped up to be. It does have a good weight, but I'll show you a couple other cards that I have that I think have similar weight and are not as, quote unquote exclusive to get. But we'll talk a little bit more about the card in a minute. I kind of want to unbox some of the other stuff that's in here. So let's start with this one. Welcome to JP Morgan Reserve card. Looks like a little info packet here. I'm not going to bother reading that to you. It's just marketing material. You can always pause the video and read that stuff if you want. Let's see what this is. Okay, so this is like some kind of booklet, and this looks like it shows you all of the benefits. So now that we're talking about benefits, my understanding is that let's take a look. Okay, so you get $300 annual travel credit. That's the same as the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Same thing here for 3 times points on dining, 10x points on Chase dining. All of this looks the same as the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and that's what I was told about this card, is that it's essentially just a branded, more exclusive, slightly heavier version of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Why don't I get that for you here just to compare the two. This is what the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So honestly, this one feels, I mean, maybe twice as heavy as the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I can look up the actual weights of these, or I can actually do one better. Okay, so here's food scale that I stole from the kitchen, and we can see what these come in at. So first, I'm gonna show you the Sapphire Reserve. This one comes in at about 12 grams. Just try that again. It was 13 for a second, 12 to 13 grams. Next up is the American Express Gold, which I think a lot of folks get. It's a pretty popular card. So that one comes in at about 15 grams. Next we have the Apple card, which is another, I felt like this one was a little heavier. It's kind of hard to tell because I forget what material this is, but it feels light and heavy at the same time, if that makes sense. It's got an interesting sound to it when it clatters too. That one is 14 grams, so not quite as heavy as the American Gold card. And then we've got the JP Morgan, which is at 22. So I mentioned it felt about twice as heavy as the Reserve. It's not quite twice as heavy, but it's definitely by far the heaviest card compared to these other 3, which I think are the 3 heaviest that I have in my credit card collection, if you will. So back to the benefits. Looks like all about the same stuff. The one thing I will mention is it says VIP access here, and looks like card members have access to exciting events in sports, entertainment, and dining. I might try to make a future video where I kind of review this service and see, exactly what am I supposed to get access to. I watched a couple other videos and they were saying, with this card, you can get into concerts that are sold out. You can get reservations at restaurants that are usually booked up. I've never seen anyone actually do that. So I'd be interested to put it to the test and see exactly what kind of value that can provide. Is it worth it? And so there you have it. That is, this is, this is gonna make kind of a nice box. I have a buddy who also has this card and stores all of their credit cards in here. And the box that I use to store my credit cards is getting a little bit full and it's kind of breaking. So I think this will make a good new credit card box to store credit cards in. All right, so now that we have the card out of the box, I'm gonna share with you a little bit about my journey to getting this card, and I'm also going to let you know what I think of it. Is it worth it? Should you try and get this card in 2024? And what I'll do is I'll end up following up with another video about, if this $10 million exclusive invite-only credit card is not the best credit card for everything it takes to get it, what is the best credit card that you can get either in 2024 or 2025? So first, what is special about this card? I would say really the only thing that sets this card apart is the look and feel of the card and the exclusivity. There's pretty limited information online about what this card even is. There are a few blog posts and a couple of videos on YouTube. Some people who upload videos to YouTube don't even have the physical card. They don't even have access to it. They just talk about it. And I think for some folks who want to get this card, that kind of adds to the allure of getting it. But you might be wondering after watching this video, I mentioned I don't have $10 million. So how did I get access to this exclusive card? Well, the reality is that just like with any credit card, there is an application that you can fill out. You just need someone who can send you that application. And those folks that have access to the application are going to be JP Morgan, not Chase, but JP Morgan private bankers. And the real question becomes, what does it take to build a relationship at the JP Morgan private bank? And on the one hand, if you have $10 million and you're looking for a bank to bank with, then you can just, they will find you. They will reach out to you on like LinkedIn or email you. If you've gotten to that point in net worth and JP Morgan has caught wind of it, they're going to try and poach you as a client. But it's not like you need $10 million to be a client of the private bank. You could be someone who has the potential to bring in a lot of assets in the future. For example, you could be a high income earner with high future earning prospects on top of what you currently make today, or you could just have a really good relationship with someone at the bank. But overall, do I think this card is worth, losing sleep over about whether you have it or not? I would say no. I would say, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a fairly attainable card. I remember back in the day when I felt like this was, out of my reach, and I think I had applied for this card maybe 1 or 2 times and had gotten denied before. So I started with smaller cards. I started with the Freedom Unlimited. I think I did the Freedom Flex at one point. I started a small business and got the Business Inc. as well. And over time, I eventually built up enough credit and banking history with Chase that I was able to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I think the same strategy would do well if you're looking to get the JP Morgan Reserve card as well, is to keep that relationship going with Chase and in turn with the JP Morgan private bank. Maybe contact a banker at the private bank and maybe, get advice from them or just network with them, and at some point they may be willing to extend you an invite to get this card. But like I said, there's no real difference between these two. It's just a little heavier. It's also got a slightly better concierge service. I've never had an issue with the Chase Sapphire Reserve concierge service, but I did use the phone number on this card once, and I was able to speak to someone within 10 seconds. I don't think the wait was all that much longer with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But like I mentioned, I'm going to be uploading future videos exploring some more benefits with this. Can you get exclusive reservations at like restaurants, or can you get tickets to concerts that are sold out? And I'll also be talking a little bit more about other credit cards. For example, if you're trying to maximize points, what is the best combination of credit cards to use in 2024 or 2025? So I think a lot of people leave sometimes thousands of dollars on the table in points by not having the right cards. And then number 2, what is, if this is not the best credit card, what is the best one? Is it the Amex card? Is it the Chase Sapphire Reserve? Is it the Apple card from Goldman Sachs that looks really cool? But yeah, anyways, hope you like this video. If you have any questions about anything I covered, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm very responsive, and stay tuned for future uploads. Bye.